Bees. Most people would describe these insects as pesty, annoying, or even scary. As a result, thousands of bees die each year. Bees have an impact on everything from the food on our table to the cotton and clothes on our back. If we want to continue to live a happy, healthy life, we need to do whatever we can to save our bees. If bees die, so will you and I. Today, I will be talking about the current problem with the disappearance of bees, the impact that bees have on this world, and what you can do to help bees thrive. So, now, let's talk about what's currently happening to our bee population. According to Sam Allure, an advocate for bees, he states that there has been a decline of almost 3 million honeybees over the last couple of years, just in the USA. 3 million, that is a lot. Today, honeybees are suffering from colony collapse disorder. CCD, according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, is, quote, a disorder that leaves behind the queen by itself, and the majority of the workers disappear just out of nowhere. They only leave that queen, a little food, and a few nurse bees, and the rest of the immature bees for them to raise by themselves. Melissa Peaty, an editor for Plant and Environmental Science Association, talks how we are already seeing specifics such as the rusted-patched bumblebee on the endangered species list. What is happening? Why is this happening? This is due to insecticides, herbicides, habitat loss, and global warming. So I was reading an article and I found this one example of a major impact in China. So these Chinese farmers have had to start hand-pollinating all their trees. Hand-pollinating. That is where you have to take pick a flower and bring it to the other flower, or take little cotton swabs, dab it to all of the flowers on every single bud if you want your trees and plants to thrive. Can you imagine how long that would take to hand pollinate it? That'd take a lot of people and a lot of hours. Yikes. So what was the reason for this in China? They are talking about how certain pesticides are destroying the habitats of the bees. That is not good. So what would happen if all the bees disappears, other than just us having to hand pollinate? According to farmers.gov, a site to understanding all things about our environment, it states that over 80% of all our food in the world is pollinated by the bees. Philip Dawn, a researcher for Lancaster University, says that as pollinators, bees play an important part in every aspect of the ecosystem. They support the growth of trees, flowers, and other plants, which serve as food and shelter for creatures large and small. Bees contribute, listen to this part's really important. Bees contribute to the complex interconnected ecosystem that allows a diverse number of different species to coexist. And this also, of course, includes cotton or clothes. But can you imagine not having any other animal exist because of the bees that disappeared? We wouldn't have chicken, steak, any yummy food like that, just because of the bee population disappearing. So, now that I've gotten your attention on the problem, what can you do to help the bees? There are millions of things that you can do to help prevent the fallout. But I'll just give you 5 simple things to do that anyone can do, really. Number 1, advocate for the bees. What does this mean? What does this look like? You can do this simply by signing a petition at your nearest store, which these days they don't really do the paper. and the pencil and signing petitions. But an easier way is to go online to savebees.org. Again, that's savebees.org, to sign any of the bills, including the most recent bill that would suspend all the registered pesticides until it is determined safe for our pollinators. That would have a huge impact, because the more people that speak out for these bees, the more that the government or whoever is regulating these pesticides will pay attention and actually make an impact. Number 2, provide a honeybee-friendly habitat in your yard or other outdoor spaces. Now, what does this look like? Plant flowers, berries, fruits, vegetables, anything, even trees, anything that has a flower on it. Plant it. Provide a fresh water source such as a bird bath or even a bucket of water. But bird baths do look prettier, so it's up to you. But also the weeds. Now, most weeds we think also as pesty and annoying, and thorny. But actually, these weeds are very beneficial to the bees. They have that milk inside of them that is a very important food source for our bees. So next time you look at a weed, think before you drop it, think about the bees. Okay, third thing we can do. We can eat bee-friendly. Now that sounds silly, doesn't it? Eating bee-friendly. What could that look like? I'll give you an example. Everyone likes honey here, right? So we want to eat sustainable honey. What does that mean? If you choose to buy an organic honey, you are making sure that the bees are pollinating in pesticide-free areas. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but that has a huge impact. Pesticide is the number one killer of most of these bee problems we have right now. And if we can, even one person or our whole family that buys these special honeys, they're actually not really that special, they just pay more attention, they can help save a bee's life, which can help save other bees, and blah, 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 on and on and on, Okay, so eating bee-friendly. Step 4. Avoid the use of insecticides or pesticides on your lawn until you really find out what is safe for bee. And it's easy, you could just Google it and figure out, you look on the back and see if that is safe for bees. If you really don't like those weeds that we were talking about earlier, all you have to do is pick or chop them. Limestone is also another alternative that you can use that will take care of the pesty things. It may be a little more expensive, but in the long run, it's worth it if we want to save our bees. And lastly, number 5, don't kill the bees. That seems pretty obvious, right? Don't swat at them. Don't be scared of them. And teach others that the bees do not want to hurt you, because they know that one sting and they will die. Unlike wasps who can sting multiple times, honeybees are just trying to pollinate, and they're really good. And they don't want to hurt you, so why would you hurt them? Spread this information out and help others know how to make a bee-friendly place. So let's quickly recap what we have talked about today. Today, I have talked about the current problem with the disappearance of bees and the colony collapse. I have also talked about the impact of bees and what would happen if all of them disappeared. And lastly, I talked about 5 steps that we can do to help bees thrive. Bees are disappearing, and it's up to you to help them out so they can help you out. Let's be responsible before it's too late. Thank you.